and visionaries. Welcome to another Monday Night Live training, where your journey to business success accelerates. Join us for insights, strategies, and tools to elevate your business while keeping your budget in mind. It's time to transform your passion into profit. Your host, Corey von Bill Foster, is about to take the stage. Get ready to be inspired and empowered. The future of your business starts now.
All right, well, look, I guess it's working. Look, technology does it at once. I'm like, you don't want to play the end of my video? That hurts my feelings. You know what? We're going to roll it back. We're going to play it again.
Entrepreneurs and visionaries. Welcome to another Monday Night Live training, where your journey to business success accelerates. Join us for insights, strategies, and tools to elevate your business while keeping your budget in mind. It's time to transform your passion into profit. Your host, Corey von Bill Foster, is about to take the stage. Get ready to be inspired and empowered. The future of your business starts now.
All right. Look, the end just doesn't want to play, but you know the future of your business is here. It is with you. We are ready to learn and grow on today. And happy first Monday in April. Happy first Monday of the second quarter. All of that fun stuff. I am over here deep in the midst of spring break. As you guys know, I'm a parent. And we homeschool two of our kiddos, and one is in public school, and they are all three here as we speak on spring break. And I'm just like, Lord, help me take the wheel. I love being able to have, these educational moments where we can kind of talk about different subjects like we do in our Monday Night Live. But I also like to allow space. That's what we're going to say, to allow space to get real and talk about things. Because I feel like oftentimes in entrepreneurship, we feel like we're kind of on an island alone, right? We're doing all these things and we're going through our own struggles and our own wins. And we sometimes don't have a strong enough community around us to let us know like this is normal, right? The roller coaster of business is normal, the highs, the lows, and everything in between. And when you have children, right, or when you have a spouse or both, Lord help you, sometimes it gets difficult, right, to be all things to all people, to get all the things done at the standard and the quality you would like them to get done. Let me put this in here. Join us live. I take parenting very seriously. Between parenting and my business, they're probably my two biggest priorities. I take them very, very seriously. I believe you can truly jack up a child if you don't put forth your best effort. If you don't feel that way, that's cool. We can agree to disagree. But like I said, I take parenting seriously. And so I am very big on finding moments to be present. And sometimes that is hard as a entrepreneur of a small business when you don't have tons of people who can step in, right, and do all the things when you're trying to make some serious time for your family. And I know I'm not the only one who deals with that because I've had clients that we've had conversations. They're like, well, my kid's on spring break or my kid's on Christmas break or we want to take a family vacation. And I'm like, what are we doing with the business? Like, how are we going to make sure that everybody gets taken care of? And sometimes, because people like to ask, like, how do you find that perfect balance? Well, one, I don't think the perfect balance exists. Let's just be frank there. I think that you will learn to prioritize things as needed, right? So there are going to be times in your life where you're going to need to prioritize more work, right? It's like grind time. You got to get things done. And there's going to be times where you need to prioritize family, friendships, romantic partners, what have you. And that's okay too, as long as you kind of keep your end goal in mind. And that's why when I do my yearly planning, even about my business, I always look at the different parts of my life and say, okay, how do I feel about these different areas? What do I need to work on? Where do I need to focus? How much time do I need to focus so that I don't typically feel overwhelmed? But times like this, when the kiddos are on spring break and clients still need work, and I want to take time to spend with family, but I want to give my all to my clients, it does get tough. So I want to let you know, if you are going through that season of life, because I know a lot of places are going through spring break or they went through it last week or what have you. If you're in this season with us, don't freak out. It's gonna be okay. Shout out to my accountability partner, Pat. She sent me a message that was like, breathe. I was like, it was so hard. I went away with the kids. If you're watching from my personal profile page on Facebook, you'll see some of the clips. Have fun watching us be goofballs. But went away with my family this past weekend. We were in a really cute beach house. Whole family was there. Well, my whole immediate family was there. So it was 8 of us in this amazing beach house. The weather was pretty decent for us because we don't like to be too hot, but we don't like to be too cold. So it was really nice being able to just spend some time, to have some food, some fun, some fellowship. And we're a very competitive family. So we had like a cool little competition over the weekend of different activities we were doing. We got cute shirts. Like my mom is extra. She even made us like these branded, y'all can't even really see it, has my name on it, these branded bottles of water. We had little chip bags and all kind of cute stuff. And my son won the contest. I said, if it couldn't be me, at least it was him. But he won for the overall weekend champion. And he got a little trophy that we're going to, it's a tradition now. We're going to start passing it down every time our family gets together and does stuff. So I say all that to say, I'm coming off of literally, I got home today. All right. Business to do. And I ain't gonna lie. People are like, do you do business while you're off? Yes, typically. But I try not to do much, but we couldn't even do business at the beach house because the internet was just like, no, ma'am, Pam. It was so slow. So I came back to work. So literally got home, got to work. The kids are enjoying themselves. And then when I get off of this Monday Night Live, I'll be going back to work. And then tomorrow getting up and working some more. Because on Wednesday, shout outs to my IROC client, Maria Pierre Davis, owner and founder of Autism in Black. She is having her first in person, but 5th annual Autism in Black conference that'll be taking place in Florida. So me and my team will be flying out on Wednesday, right in the midst of spring break still, to support her at her event, which I know is going to be an amazing success. She's been with us for a couple of years now. This is our 3rd conference with her, not to mention all of her amazing webinars. What else? Her one-day summits and different things like that. Like there's some really cool, amazing things she does year round. So we, here at IROC get to, help her and support her vision of this amazing company. It has been such a pleasure. So I'm super excited, but I'm tired. Super excited, but I'm tired. And I wanted to share that with you guys because it gets like that. Like I want you guys to think about all the goals you have for your business, right? You're like, I want more clients. I want more income. I want this, I want that. And it's like, you realize once you get these things, they're going to take up your time. You do realize that, right? That's what happens. Like, yes, you do well, you get clients, and then you get work, work to do. People forget about that. They're just excited for the person to sign the contract. It's like, no, now we got to fulfill it. So again, if you're in that season of life, God bless you. If you're on spring break, if you're still working, if you're trying to find your current balance, whatever that looks like, shout out to you. You are not alone, but let's get into our Monday Night Live. We're going to be talking about how to plan engaging content for your audience. And I always, when I talk about content, like to say a few words before we get started. Please do not get engagement confused with me saying you need a ton of likes, follows, and shares. While that is amazing, Kudos to you. That is not the priority that I suggest people focus on when it comes to my clients. When it comes to me, I am big on what is connecting with your audience so that they can convert. Right? I don't care if you have 50 followers. I don't care if you have 5,000. I don't care if you have 50,000. Are they actually engaging with you in a way that converts? Right? Some people will DM you. Some people will go ahead and do your likes, your follows, your shares, your subscribes. Some people will purchase from you without anything else. They'll come to challenges, they'll share, they'll refer. Like, how are we getting to the coins, right? How are we getting to the bag? How are we making new clients and customers, right? That's what we care about. So when I say engaging content, I'm talking about engaging content that converts. Just want to be clear before we dive in. All right. So a little bit about us, if you're not aware, I'm Corey Fonville Foster. I'm a speaker, I'm a trainer, and I'm a certified business coach that specializes in implementation. I'm also the CEO of iRock Marketable Business Solutions, which is a small business marketing firm based out of Virginia. But we are lucky and honored enough to service coaches, consultants, speakers, and authors from coast to coast and up into Canada. We've been around for, I don't know, going on 7 years, something like that. At this point, it may be longer. I don't know. Y'all, we've been here for a while. We ain't going nowhere. And we service clients through two different ways, right? We have our coaching side of our business where we offer things from power hour quick coaching sessions where you can focus on one big challenge. We have courses. We have quick PDFs that you can get to move forward in creating your products and offers and pricing. We also have group coaching programs along with one-on-one coaching support as well. And then on our other side of our business, for those who are like, hey, I know what I need to be doing, I just need support, we have everything from VA services to websites, landing pages, email marketing, the list goes on and on to full-blown social media marketing. We are here to support you. Our goal is kind of be your one-stop shop for affordable coaching and marketing resources for your small business. So that sounds like something you're interested in. As always, feel free to connect with us. And at the end of today's Monday Night Live, I will share with you a link of how you can connect with us if you so choose. What else do I have before we dive in? I think that is about it. Oh, also, yes, you're watching a Monday Night Live, right? So every single Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are here live in the building wherever you're currently watching. And we do these free Monday Night Live trainings. Now, I'm going to be honest, you're not going to get everything answered here in these quick sessions. The goal is to give you enough to be dangerous, right? We're going to teach you a concept. We're going to tell you what tools you can use to tackle that concept. And then we're going to give you a challenge to actually implement now. The goal is to get you moving in business. I tell people, even if you're just starting out and you have $0 and 0 cents, if you come to the Monday Night Lives, you are going to be able to start seeing progress in your business just by implementing the things we're talking about. And I always tell people it's best to join, and get with us in the beginning of the year, because really, if you follow it, you're going to really be able to make some giant moves by the end of the year, because we try to make it so that we kind of tackle one theme each month and kind of build. Not to say that if you join us in November, you're not going to get massive value and impact. You will, but you're definitely going to get more out of staying tuned with us every single Monday and implementing in real time. So just wanted to throw that out. If you didn't know how these actually worked, just to give you that insight. All right, but what are we going to cover today? Because this actually shouldn't be too long of a talk. So we're going to learn about content planning tips to maximize audience engagement. We're going to discover effective techniques to brainstorm content ideas. We're going to also explore tools that streamline content scheduling and organization. So it's going to be pretty simple, but I want you guys to think through some of the things we're going to talk about today, just to see, like, am I doing this? Have I optimized that? Like, have I thought through this? Am I working harder or am I working smarter? Those kinds of things are going to be things to kind of just think about as it relates to your business. So let's go through the first question of the day. Do you ever find yourself staring at a blank screen, wondering what to post that will truly engage your audience? I have a lot of clients that are like that. Like, I know I should be posting, but I don't know what to post, right? I don't know what to post. Now, on the flip side of that, right, I want you to imagine having a clear plan of content ideas that your audience loves, content that sparks conversations, builds connections, and drives actions. Would you rather be staring at the blank screen, Or would you rather know what you're doing and have great results? Right? Because sometimes we have to just make the decision, right? If we know we should be posting and engaging with our audience, not just on social media, but also emails and different things like that. If we know that's what we should be doing, sometimes we just have to make that CEO kind of executive decision and say, we are going to get it done. Right. That's why I like to focus on implementation, because I find people know what they should be doing. They just don't be doing it. They're like a hard-headed child. Like, you're supposed to clean your room, but you just don't do it. And you're like, I don't know why I don't do it, but I don't do it. That's why we have these kind of conversations, because I think most of us would agree that we want to have a clear plan of our content ideas that our audience actually loves and engages with, right? We want to spark conversations. We want to build connections. And yes, we want to drive actions that convert to paid clients. I think that is, the dream, the goal, the hope of most entrepreneurs that are in business to have sustainable, profitable businesses, right? This isn't rocket science. It's like, yeah, we all want that. So, what is one thing your audience consistently engages with? Is it stories? Is it tips? Is it solutions? And the reason why we ask this question is because sometimes you guys put some things out and your audience already likes it, right? And for some reason, when you go to sit down to make new content, right? Again, whether it's for Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, email, podcast, whatever, right? Newsletters, you like to start from scratch. But it's like, no, let's pause for a second. What things is our audience already enjoying? And if we're not posting things, have we done the competitor research to say, what is our audience already consuming from our competitors? What kind of content are they engaging with? And I'm really a no excuses type of person. Because of AI, you can actually ask it to do a lot of that competitor research. Also, if you're like, well, AI is cool, but I need a real person not only to do the research, but tell me like what to do with it, we have experts in our private Facebook community. I'm trying to think, what is her last name? Misha. Oh goodness, what is her last name? I'm gonna look it up while I'm talking. But Misha is in our private community. And she does that. She does a lot of market research. She's worked with small companies all the way up to like General Mills, Taco Bell, like big companies. And so she not only can help you gather that research, if you really want that human connection, I totally understand. And then she can help you understand like what to do with it once you get it. Because some people are like, okay, I get that this is the data, right? I'm like that sometimes. I'm like, I got a spreadsheet. Okay, I see that I'm reading it. But what do I do with this information? She can help you actually create a plan that works with that information. So I will try to I'm going here trying to find her name for you guys. But her first name is Misha. I don't know why her last name is totally escaping me right now. But kind of going back to this question, what's one thing your audience consistently engages in? Again, success leaves clues. We do not have to keep starting from scratch, right? I want you guys to get out of that habit of you got to start from scratch every time you do something, because either you've already done something, whether you got a huge result from whatever you were doing or not, you got some results. So hey, they seem, if out of all the stuff I put out, people seem to like this better. Do more of that. And then try maybe some new things. And then look at the data again and say, okay, they like these things. Do more of that. Try something else and add to it. Because this will allow us to grow faster, right? I'm big on working smarter, not harder. And again, looking at the competitors and saying, hey, if it's working for all of these people, why am I not doing it? And sometimes I feel like we don't want to do it because we're like, that's going to be a lot of work. But it's like, but that's what works, right? I think too many people think there's always a shortcut. And it's like, sometimes no, the shortcut is doing the work the way it's supposed to be done versus you doing it your own way, not succeeding, and then trying to, do it, change it. It's like, no, if this works, right? If plan A works and it's all mapped out, do plan A. Yes, it's hard. And I don't know why people think business isn't hard. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it may be time consuming. Maybe it has an investment to it. But if we get it done, we can move on to the next step. Right. And the shout outs, the name of that amazing business owner is Misha Branch. Sorry about that, Misha. I was like, what? I was thinking to say Grant. Is it what? Like, I couldn't remember. Oh, today's her birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. I looked her up in our Facebook community. So if you're in our coaches, consultants, and speakers, start and scale to 6 figures on a budget, our Facebook community, you can look up Misha, hit her up. She is an amazing expert when it comes to market research, data, all that fun stuff. And if you're wondering like who are other experts, you actually can go to our website, which is in construction right now. We're almost done with it, but we do have an expert page where you can go see some of our vetted experts that we know are experts in their field that can help you in different areas where we may not be experts in, right? I'm big on sharing resources. So that's another place where you can go. Or heck, worst gonna worst, just send me a message, be like, hey, I need somebody for this. And if I got somebody, I will connect you. I promise. All right. So when we talk about content planning, let's talk about a few tips that I typically share with my clients when it comes to like planning out content. Now, I will admit some of our clients we plan it for them, right? But we do have a lot of clients who are just either it's not in their budget or they want to be more hands-on that plan their own content. So we give them kind of these three things to think about. We try to keep it simple. So the first one is know your audience. Yes, in marketing, that's always going to be the first step. It's never going to change. Know your audience. You need to understand that audience like you understand yourself, right? Understand their pain points, their interests, what keeps them coming back, what keeps them up at night. Like, where are they right now? Where will they be when you're done working with them? All of that stuff matters because when you start to put together messaging, you got to be speaking to that person. And if you notice, I'm not saying people, person, right? You create your own client avatar or client persona. You give it a name, and that's your person. If you've been in the iRock world, you know that our client persona's name is Dakota. Don't ask me why. I just like the name. And when I tell you I know any and everything about this chick, she is a bad mama jamma, right? She is a boss chick. She got a family. She's married. She's educated. She has a passion that she's trying to monetize while still finding time for her family and the other things that bring her joy. She wants to make massive impact. Like, I know these things about her. You should know your audience inside and out before you even start the marketing process. And it doesn't take forever. Literally, you think about who do you really want to work with, right? And oftentimes for coaches and consultants, it's typically the person that they were several years back, right? 5 years, 10 years, 20 years back. That's the person that you're trying to bring up, right? Because you've lived, you've learned, you've invested in knowledge, and now you want to give back, right? You don't want people to have to go through all the struggles and the hurdles that you're going through or that, you know, they're knowing or unknowingly hurting a community that you care about, right? So that's something to think about. Know your audience. Another thing, especially when you're in the kind of figuring it out phase of what your audience really wants to see, is be okay with mixing content, right? Mixing content types. So you can alternate between educational content, entertaining content, promotional content. I always say that make sure it's 20% sales, 20% like value. But even in the value pockets, you can make sure that, you know, you vary it up a little bit because you don't know what people will connect with. And sometimes, let's be honest, when people are kind of, you know, getting tons of stimuli through social media or emails and they see a candid picture of you, they're like, oh, I just want to support. Let me hit like. And then, you know, now the algorithm's like, oh, people are engaging with this. Let me share it to more folks. And so oftentimes you will see business people post pictures of them on vacation, them with their dog, them with their kids, whomever. And yes, they do want to authentically share with you that they're like a full person. But also we know that mixing content types lets your audience kind of feel like they know you more, right? They're getting a behind the scenes look. Like behind the scenes are amazing. Another amazing content idea as well. But also, like I said, value. If you're just showing pictures of you and your dog, you better have a business about animals, right? Because if not, like, okay, yeah, they liked it, but again, we're trying to make sure that you people are there to convert. So just make sure that we're not doing tons of things that are just fun, cute, but also are engaging. But we can also find a balance. Some of our folks who are in the advocate space, whether it's with kids, adults, politics, what have you, there's lots of like cute memes that are thought-provoking. Like, yes, they give you a chuckle. Yes, you like, I understand that, but also they still make you think and they give value, and you can kind of bounce from that meme or gif or what have you into a really important topic that needs to be discussed or shared, right? So again, mix your content types. You don't have to sit and just give tips after tips after tips after tips. You don't have to do no dancing on TikTok and, you know, just be out here, you know, shucking and driving or what have you. Mix it up, but just make sure you're always thinking about what is the end goal. And then also engage in real time. I always have to remind my clients, like they'll do some really cool stuff and they'll tell me about it like weeks or two later. And I'm like, why you ain't post about that? Why you ain't take no pictures while you were there? So make sure that you are, one, putting things out in real time. But then two, when people are responding, they're commenting, they're liking, they're talking about it, make sure you're engaged with them. Even if it's just saying like, thanks for watching, giving them a thumbs up, something. Because if somebody took the time to engage with your content out of the bazillion pieces of content out there, the least you and your team could do is just like it. Thank you. Awesome. I see you. Something of that nature, right? So we just want to make sure it's real time. Do not wait months and months and months because the effect is gone, right? They want to feel like they are connected to you. Like y'all are, I'm going to put quotes around this, y'all are friends. They want to feel like they're a part of your world. And a way to do that simply is just to engage. If you send out a newsletter and somebody responds, glad, they might just say, oh, that was good. Like, because I've had emails like that. Oh, thanks. That was a good piece of advice. Oh my God, I'm so glad that connected with you. That's what I'll send back. And they appreciate that versus they done took the time to read my newsletter, right? And then they take the time to email me and then I just be like, oh, okay. Absolutely not. Respond to these people in real time quickly. Okay, so those are just quick 3 key points to think about when it comes to content planning. So how often do you ask your audience what they want to see from you? I did a series a while back. I can't remember what year it was, where I kind of talked about this. I harped on it for a while. Like, stop doing stuff that people didn't ask for or they didn't ask you for, right? Sometimes we just want to be making stuff and people get mad because they'll make it and then the product doesn't do well. And we're like, well, why didn't it do well? Because nobody asked you to make it. You just decided that they needed it. And when I tell you, a lot of people struggle when they have businesses and they do this because they fall in love with their product more than they fall in love with their audience, right? They do. They're like, I just know that this product is amazing. I just know that this book is amazing. I just know that blah, 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 right? They know that. And then they're like, but nobody's buying it. It's because nobody ever asked you for that thing, right? Or one person asked you and it's like, then now they don't even want to buy it. So we got to be smart, right? We got to be smart and ask. Because yes, we may think we know best, but when it comes to people's buying power, they have their money, their dollars that they can spend with us. They want what they want, right? Period. And so it's really easy to bypass a lot of the trial and error by just asking them. You can use polls, surveys, talk to previous clients, ask potential clients. I remember I had a coach a few years back who talked about like sending people LinkedIn messages, asking them for 5 to 10 minutes of their time to ask them a couple of questions if they were your potential audience, to kind of see what the market was looking for, right? What prices they were willing to pay for that type of service. If they had this type of service, what else would they like it to include? All kind of stuff. These aren't sales calls. These are just like information gathering calls. And again, sometimes we're afraid or we just have anxiety around the idea of like asking people, because what if they say, like, just what would happen? What if they say that they don't want that product? Well, then, hey, you didn't waste your time making it. Let's just be clear. They may say something that you like, oh my God, I never thought about it that way. Or it could be that, yes, they like the product, but the messaging you have around it doesn't connect with them, right? They're like, oh yeah, now that you explained it this way, that's exactly what I want. And you're like, oh, so the way I'm framing it doesn't make sense. Sometimes that happens as well. So make sure, again, you do your due diligence, right? And don't be afraid to ask people directly what they need, because then, especially when it goes to making content, then you can do the things that they're looking for. You can lead them where they want to be going. All right. Another great kind of time-saving thing that you can do when it comes to creating content is repurpose old content. Now, I'm gonna put a caveat on this. Not all old content needs to be shared. And I only say that because even for me, there's some old things that I've done that just weren't the best quality or no longer reflect the brand that I currently have. And so I want us to be okay with like letting those pieces of things die, whether they did good or not. It's like if they no longer connect to the current brand, if they aren't the best quality, maybe the video quality wasn't great, what have you, then we're not going to use that. But I bet there's probably some other content, whether it's old posts, old interviews you did, whether they were live or virtual, old newsletters, old email sequences. Like if it still has value of some sort to your audience, I am totally okay with you bringing it back out or repurposing it, giving it a fresh look, using it in a different way. Maybe you did a podcast a year or two ago, but you're going to be doing a month on that topic. Well, taking that old content and breaking it up into quick reels or stories, I think is great. Doing a challenge around that topic, I think is great. Right? These are all engaging because people engage with that old podcast interview, but you're not going to do that same podcast again. You don't necessarily also want to just send people to watch that whole podcast. We can repurpose that content to get a bigger bang for what we did, right? So think about maybe some old content that did well or that connects to what you're trying to do now and repurpose it for your own means. Even like I said, that podcast, we can then take it and create emails about it, right? About that topic. We could create a little quick workbook or guide or something like that. I actually was on a call just a couple of days ago. In January, I was at an event where the speaker gifted us a book. Cool book. I actually haven't even read through the whole thing yet, but cool book, gives great value. I've have some friends who've already read it. And so then I was on a call a week or so ago where now there's a workbook about it, right? They took that old piece, right? Not super old, but a thing that they already had out. And then they just kind of said, okay, well, if you like this, we gonna 10x it by giving you a workbook to go with it. I was like, I want the workbook, right? I got the book for free, but I would definitely pay for the workbook because I know not only am I going to get the value of the information, but the workbook's going to allow me to implement and work through it faster, right? So that's also a way to kind of repurpose old content as well. It's not just about social media. It's about looking at your brand as a whole and saying, what connects to my audience? What do they want? What would they buy? How do I package it? So that they can get it in a way that makes sense for them. Another thing to do when you're really stuck and you're saying, okay, well, how do I plan out this content, right? I know I need to do it, but how do I plan it out? We do something called the content pillars method or the theme method, whichever one you want to use. But basically, you create posts around 3 to 5 core themes that align with your brand. I actually have my clients do this every month where they kind of pick a theme and then we pull out topics like sub points for that theme. So pick 3 to 5 pillars, right? That represent what your brand stands for and what your audience currently needs. Ooh, excuse me. You can also do this ahead of time. If your brand, concept is solid and you're not going to be shifting major pieces of your brand, not to say that you don't have wiggle room to make adjustments, you can do this and plan for the whole year and say, okay, this is what I'm going to do each month. As far as the themes go, and then you can be able to make that content, a little bit ahead of time, or even, as you go. I don't recommend that, but as the dates are going, you can add content, but it lets you kind of stay focused and know what your ideas are, especially if you're planning like launches and things, kind of, okay, if this month's about this, I'm gonna launch that at that month because they go together. And my audience is already going to be kind of primed for that offer. So that's something to think about. But just remember, again, educational content, inspirational content, entertaining content, sales content. You still want to vary it even with those 3 to 5 pillars. And that'll help you kind of just streamline it so that you're not always being like, well, what am I going to post about? It's like, well, if your business does X, Y, and Z and, solves these problems, then that's probably a good place to start. All right. So I want to give you some examples of like some content pillars. Client attraction. Like I'm a business coach, right? So client attraction, systems and productivity, mindset and confidence, marketing and visibility, right? If I just took those 4 pillars, that could be, 4 to 6 months worth of content ideas. Or I could say, okay, I'm going to do client attraction for January, systems for February, productivity for March, or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it'll allow me to kind of stay focused. That's why you're getting a lot of this type of content this month. If you remember January, the big thing we were doing was goal setting, because we talk about implementation. We talk a lot about goals and planning action items and stuff like that. We talked about branding one month, because again, it all goes into marketing. You got to have good branding and understand your brand messaging and all that fun stuff. So pick your pillars, and then kind of find some sub points, and then use that for your content as a base, so that you can use that as like a launching pad to have some consistent content. If you're stuck, like, what am I going to post? All right. So what's your biggest challenge in staying consistent with content? This is a big question, because oftentimes you guys have decent content. Like, I'm always going to people who engage with the iRock world, and looking at your stuff, and I usually see good content. The problem is that it's good content that was posted a month ago, and then before that 2 weeks before that, and then before that maybe 3 weeks, or maybe I'm seeing a post a couple of times a week, and then maybe nothing. And it's like, that's the issue. All these platforms have algorithms. Consistency is always going to be king, right? Even if you're not going with trending things, even if you're not going viral, your audience needs to see you're consistent. Even if it's a prospective client who's not connected with your business yet, when they are connected, they're going to go to your social media, or if they signed up for your newsletter, they're going to wait for that newsletter. Like, where is it? And if they never get the newsletter, right, or you only post every blue moon, they are not going to be thinking about you. And that's a loss of a potential client. So I want us to really start thinking about consistency being the biggest flex, and then everything else is just adjustments, right? We're going to be consistent. We're going to put something out, but we're going to get better. We're going to make sure we're using those pillars. We're going to make sure that we diversify what we're putting out. We're going to use old content and repurpose that as well. But the key is we're going to be consistent. So let me give you some tools for that, because again, we're all about teaching you how to do these things. So content calendars are really great. You can, of course, create your own. You can write it on paper. I don't care. Whatever's going to work for you. I love Trello and Asana for this, just because even if you have a small team, or if it's just you and maybe you will have a team in the future, oftentimes you can put what you're doing in there. And then if you wanted to see this, a couple months from now, a couple years from now, you actually will be able to do that and talk to your team and say, oh yeah, and this month we launched this, and this is how we did it. This is the post we use. This is the emails we use, and it's all there, versus you having to go find it. Because I'm telling you, I work with people all the time, and they're like, oh, I know we did this before. Where we put that? Where is this at? And it's like, yeah, if you had something like a Trello or Asana, you could actually be able to kind of use these as project management tools to plan out your content, share them with your team if you have one, or be able to utilize it to reference in the future for data reasons, to say, okay, this worked, this is what we did, or this worked, and this didn't work, and this is what we ain't gonna do again, whatever the case may be. But these are great tools, and Trello is absolutely free. They have a paid version, but I, even managing multiple clients, have never had to pay for Trello. I don't know nobody who has, so we're gonna say that Trello is free. Social media schedulers are also great. We use later.com for myself and my clients, but Buffer, we actually do have a client that uses Buffer as well. Hootsuite, we used to use Hootsuite back in the day, but it allows you to schedule your content, because a lot of times, again, I know somebody who's watching this right now probably has tons of content on their phone or on their computer, and they're just not posting it. And that's because you have forgot to schedule, right? You're like, well, I'm gonna schedule every day, but you don't. I'm gonna schedule once a week, but you don't. So I recommend, if at all possible, for you to create all the content that you're gonna put out and try to schedule it for the month, right? We do that with our clients. We'll schedule it for the whole month, so that it's something we don't have to worry about anymore. We can move on to other tasks that are important. Same with blogs, same with emails, being able to go ahead and schedule those broadcasts out, so that once they are created, they're out there doing their thing. Some of you have blogs that you don't post to ever. And I'm like, even if you posted one blog a month, that's only 12 blogs. Could you not sit on a Saturday and Sunday and write 12 blogs out and then just schedule them? And now your blogs for the year are done. Right? Again, sometimes it's overwhelming, because you're like, if I got to make a post a day and a reel, maybe a reel every other day, and I got to do an email once a week, and I got to do a newsletter once a month, you're like, oh my God, it's a lot. But if you just sat and focused on creating these pieces, right? Take a day for one thing, take a day for another, and schedule them out, then they're done. they are done. So that's why I'm big on, again, no excuses. You just have to plan and work smarter, not harder. Also, I don't know why I never can say this word, repositories. Idea repositories. You can use apps like Evernote or Notion to capture content ideas. You can also use a pad of paper, a journal, notes in your phone, whatever works for you guys. I'm not big into like having a bazillion apps. If you're already using an app that helps you keep track, a journal, what have you, use that. But I want you to have something where you can put your ideas in a singular place. Don't put it on a sticky note over here, right on the back of an envelope here, because oftentimes that idea that got sparked, you may not execute that idea for months and months and months, right? It may be a cool content idea. You may forget all about it. I actually have for Facebook and Instagram, I have folders in there where I can save like real ideas, right? I see a cool reel, I save it. I have a place in my Google Drive where if I see a really good ad, I will get all the snapshots of it and be like, oh my God, this was a really good ad. It connected with me. I think it'll connect my audience so that when I make an ad that's similar, I have that as a reference tool. So you need to figure out what works for you to keep your ideas, stay on track, and be able to come back and actually utilize them. Because there's no point in taking tons and tons of notes. I had to tell this to my assistant once. I was like, you take a lot of notes. She's taking paper notes. She's got the AI recording it so she can watch it again. And it's taking a summary. And it's like, do you go back and look at this? Like, no, okay. Okay. So make sure it's something easy for you to go back and reference and utilize. All right, so we are done for the day. So hopefully now you understand how to create engaging content that starts with knowing your audience and planning with intention, right? It's not just, again, about the likes, follows, and shares. It's about really connecting with the audience to convert them to paid clients. You learned a little bit about brainstorming techniques such as polling or using content pillars to really focus on creating content that your audience wants. And then we talked about using tools like schedulers and calendars to save time and improve consistency, right? It's all about the consistency. So we have a challenge for you because, I like to make sure you get at least one challenge. This week, I want you to create a 7-day content plan. If you don't have one already, use at least one tool to schedule your posts and share your favorite post idea with us because we want to champion you, right? So even if you use, like, maybe you have Canva Pro, Canva has its own scheduler, totally fine. You don't have to use one that we suggested, but I want you to create at least 7 days worth of your plan and what tool you're going to use to schedule it out. And it could be, maybe you have a Facebook group. In Facebook, they have their own scheduler, right? Or you have a page. If it's a business page, it has its own scheduler. I'm totally okay with that. Like, it counts for the challenge, but I just want you to get in the habit of creating a content plan. And I like the idea of 7 days because it's starting small, right? I remember when I used to do a week at a time, then I would do a month at a time, then I went to a quarter at a time. And then I was like, if I can do a quarter, I can do 6 months. If I can do 6 months, I can do a year. And I remember, was it the Christmas before, like the December before last year? So what is that, 2020? This is 25, so 2023, the winter of 2023, around December, I decided to try that, to do a year's worth of content. I said, it'll be my evergreen content, so I know I'll be consistent, and then I'll make, real-time content as I need. And I did. I sat and I made I made all of my posts, right? All the graphics, all the captions. I went and created all my emails that went with that, those content pillars. I went and did the blogs that connected with those as well. I also created my Monday Night Live scripts for all those. And it took like a month, right? Of me just spending time every day, doing it. But I did. And then it allowed me to be consistently doing that. The only thing, and I'll be honest, the only thing I still struggle with consistency wise, Lord help me talk, is putting my reels out. And actually, while I was on vacation, I recorded some and I was like, okay, I have reels. They're sitting in a folder. Like I've been telling y'all, I got to schedule them out. So don't feel bad if you don't ace all the different pieces, right? Maybe you get consistent with your blogs, or maybe you get consistent on the emails, or maybe you get consistent on Instagram, but not Facebook. The idea is progress over perfection. All right. So that's the goal. 7 days worth. And if you need some support, right, we are here. We really want to support at least 100 businesses this year. And so feel free to book a free coffee chat with me. Let's talk about why you're struggling to be consistent. Is it an issue of you don't know what to post? Is it an issue with not really understanding what your audience wants, not having a strong marketing plan, or is it just you don't have time to do these things? Right. So no matter what, you can use that QR code or go to bit.ly/iRockCoffeeChat. And I would love to talk to you just to help you get some clarity around it. And if we can support you, I will let you know how. But if not, I will definitely cheer you on as you implement this year and make your business grow and become a profitable, sustainable business. But that is all we have for today, y'all. That is it. We'll be back next Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another Monday Night Live. And I will talk to you guys soon. Remember, I rock, you rock, we all rock. In the journey of entrepreneurship, success is often about having the right guidance and tools at your fingertips. Welcome to iRock Marketable Business Solutions, your compass to business excellence. We understand that as a service-based small business owner, your path to success is unique. That's why iRock offers a wide range of coaching and consulting services tailored to your needs. Imagine gaining the knowledge you need from the comfort of your own home. Explore our quick on-demand webinars, courses, and toolkits designed to accelerate your business growth. But we go beyond that. Join our vibrant community in our group coaching programs, or experience personalized guidance with our one-on-one coaching and consulting services. At iRock, every program comes with incredible bonuses. These bonuses are designed to support you on your journey, helping you bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Some of our bonuses include expert speaker sessions, group Q&A calls, guides, checklists, scripts, and more. Ready to supercharge your business journey? Explore our coaching and consulting services. Get the guidance and tools you need to reach your goals. Empower your business with iRock Marketable Business Solutions.